let's go make this window valance. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. And before y'all start yelling at me about me saying valance, that's how we say it here in the South. I know Valance is how y'all want me to say it, but I can't do it. I tried. I found the cutest tablecloths at Home Goods, and of course I had to get them. And then I thought, what am I making out of them? I didn't know at the time, but I knew I was making something. Y'all have all the questions about a valance. They're super great for kitchen curtains, or if you're in my situation, my husband and I built a house when we had the little ladies because all of a sudden we didn't have enough space. And I made all of these incredible curtains for the entire house, and then my children grabbed them and spun around until they pulled the entire curtain rod out of the wall of my brand new house. And they were a year old. So I took them down and my husband said, what are you going to do? And I said, well, we're going to put up valances, something that they can't touch, at least until they get a little older. So I'm going to show you how we made them. I cut my tablecloth. I left the hem on the bottom and I cut it at 25 inches. Generally speaking, you want your valance to be 18 inches long when you're finished, and you want to cut your fabric 2 times the length of the window. So however wide your window is, you want it to be double that. We're going to take this, all we're going to do is fold this over like this and hem it, and then we're going to fold it over again and hem it down to make a rod for the curtain, to make a pocket for the rod to go in. So I'm folding it over about 1/2 inch, and I'm just gonna straight stitch next to the edge all the way down, kind of like a top stitch, but only so as close as you're comfortable. All we're doing is hemming it to get rid of that raw edge. I'm just sewing it down with a straight stitch because in just a minute we're gonna fold it over again and sew it down, and so the raw edge that I have right now will be hidden in the next seam. Okay, so I've hemmed the top of it. Now I went and measured to make sure mine was 18 inches long, and this is how long the top hem would be. So now that's if your curtain rod is big, round, or if you wanted to do one that had a ruffle at the top. If you wanted to make a ruffle, you would just sew a seam here and then another seam here so that your rod would go in this pocket in the center. Now, I folded mine over until it was 18 inches long because I know that's how long I want it to be. And this is about 5.5 inches. So I'm gonna go down 5.5 inches and I'm gonna pin it, and then I'm just going to sew along the bottom. And this is super easy. Let's say you are intimidated by making some curtains for yourself, but you really want to. Grab you a tablecloth or a sheet, anything that's already hemmed on 2 sides, and that takes a whole bunch of the work already out of it. Okay, so I've pinned it. I'm not normally a pinner, but because I want this to be even all the way down, I did pin it. And I'm just going to go sew right along this edge, all the way down. Straight stitch, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. We're only worried about hemming the top because remember we left the edges that were hemmed on the tablecloth for the sides and the bottom. So all we're doing is folding this over again, sewing it down, and that gets rid of our raw edge that we had from just a minute ago. And then we're ready to put our rod in and have a curtain or a valance. Okay, don't make fun. I'm gonna put it on a broom handle because I need to show y'all how cute it is. But I don't have a curtain for it to go on. Look how adorable. See how precious this valance is? And it can be anything you want. It could be, obviously you could trade them out for the holidays, or you could make them for your kitchen, your bathroom, your living room, make them for a door. They would be great. Super, super easy. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.